As a leader, how do we address these LGBTQ issues? It's important to be at the forefront of any discussion about issues that affect the people that we're in contact with. It's important to be informed about all different issues and to really address them and to take advantage of opportunities to help our constituents and our shareholders. So having an open mind, being informed, and genuinely caring about people and the people behind the issues goes a long way into effective leadership. And one way to understand the issues is to talk and discuss with people that are affected by the issues, whether they're LGBTQ allies or people that really don't have a clue or experience in this area. By asking questions, it helps us to develop empathy, to gain understanding, and opens the way for dialogue between people. The other part of that is to becoming informed and looking for resources that help us to understand the whole of the issue, the LGBTQ issue. I found a resource called the LGBTQ Movement Advancement Project, and they have a website. And in it, they partner with GLAAD to put out a series that talks about LGBTQ issues. And in September 11th, they had one that was entitled Talking About LGBT Equality and Overall Approaches. The Movement Advancement Project on their website talks about their overall approach in talking about LGBTQ issues. And their statement is that it's about everyday Americans who want the same chance as everyone else to pursue health, happiness, earn a living, be safe in their communities, serve their country, and take care of the ones they love. They frame it this way without using gay or transgender language to make it about us, all of us, and all people. They also talk about their two common focuses, which is to emphasize common ground and illustrate concrete harms. And so with emphasizing common ground, they want to use language that talks about common values, shared experiences. They want to hear about stories and people and not necessarily about laws and politics and different policies. Really to remind us that, LGBTQ people are just everyday Americans. They also want to illustrate concrete harms by avoiding the rights and discrimination language that make it clear that existing laws that don't actually protect LGBTQ people and focus on a few meaningful injustices instead of, getting bogged down in some very specific issues, mainly to illustrate the emotional impact of individual stories. They also put on their series 5 things to avoid. The first one being don't repeat or acknowledge anti-LGBTQ messages. So statements like gay couples are destroying marriage, and by repeating that, it really doesn't help facilitate the type of focus that they want, and they don't want to get bogged down with that. Number two, don't use highly charged language. Words like bigotry and prejudice and hatred tend to create a different feeling than what's helpful in addressing the actual issues. Don't inadvertently validate anti-LGBTQ attitudes. So instead of saying, I understand why these issues are challenging to you, versus I understand how talking about these issues can be challenging. So not necessarily validating their point of view, but knowing that validating their feelings about how this is uncomfortable. Don't compare experiences. A lot of times we're using LGBTQ issues uh, in light of, as an example, to racism and the Latino experience or immigrant rights. We want to stay away from that and really focus on what the LGBTQ experience is like. And finally, we want to stay away from language that talks about it in terms of conflict. So like the war for LGBTQ rights, or the fight for LGBTQ treatment, fair treatment, versus injustices, using the word injustices or fair and equal treatment. As leaders, it's important to create a diverse and equitable and inclusive community that works for all neighbors. And by doing some of these things specific to LGBTQ issues, I think that we can start bridging the gap between our differences and start working together to really make our communities and our work environments much better. Thank you.